Oh, never mind now.
It's just big fights, big nights only, people. Yo, welcome. Make sure hold that thought and make sure you ask me afterwards and that. Hold that thought. I don't know what's going on. If I cut off, it's got my laptop be playing up, but I'm here anyway. Welcome, people, to another edition of the Big Fights, Big Nights Only show on Sarcasm City TV, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note. I'm also joined by my West Coast Don, boxing knowledge himself, man like JK. So first and foremost, yo, JK, what you telling me? You good? Let's start there.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are hurt. What? Tired? Tired and that, yeah? No, I hear that. I hear that. And Big Fights, Big Nights Only is the boxing show on Sarcasm City TV, people. And myself and JK will be discussing and recapping and giving our final thoughts on Canelo stopping Billy Joe Saunders. But before we get to that, if you are watching via the Twitter right now, via the Periscope, make sure you retweet the tweet and like the tweet. It's vitally important you do that. Retweet the tweet, like the tweet, vitally important you do that. Follow myself, follow JK, who's at the Carl Fam, and make sure you follow the Sarcasm City TV Twitter also. If you're watching on the Facebook page, make sure you like the video, make sure you share it also. Pardon me. So make sure if you're watching on Facebook, you hit the like button, make sure you share it, and make sure you like the Sarcasm City TV Facebook page. And if you're watching via the YouTube, make sure when you land, you hit the like button on the video, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it back. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. Make sure you share it across all the socials to any boxing fans you have. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sarcasm City TV is road to 3K as well. Road to 3K. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also, like Nelly did earlier, you can become a YouTube member of the channel also. The link is underneath in the description. Many great perks, ability to buy Sarcasm City merch, a guest appearance on a show of your choice, a guest appearance on a Sarcasm City Sports Q&A, shout out to the start of certain shows, plus more. Many great perks, 3 different levels. Make sure you check them out. GB7 here is saying, big up Flawless and my G every time. Fuck Arsenal, even on a boxing show. I love that. Man brought the football energy to the boxing show. Man said, fuck Arsenal, even on a boxing show. That is big facts. But yeah, we are here for the recap of Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. We did do a preview on the channel, so you can check that out also. And we did for the first time ever, we did a boxing watch along. So it was myself, JK. Salute to my Dutton, the big guy who's a Chelsea fan who jumped on. And we're going to continue that as well. Me and JK was legit talking about it beforehand. But yeah, man, let's start with the fight. And I think there's only one place to start with this fight. And that is the stoppage itself. And the $1 million question for JK, or the £1 million question for me, is, did Billy Joe Saunders quit? So I let you answer that first, JK, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts.
When we was talking, I was like, I'm gonna save it. I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about all the boxers, and like looking at the pictures of all the fighters that were swollen to the point where they couldn't see brokenness, and they finished the fight.
Yeah,
Andre Berto. He has like a famous meme out there.
Yes.
Couldn't see shit.
Yeah.
Margarito. Deontay Wilder too. Even had not the Tyson Fury fight, but Deontay Wilder even. Fernando Vargas. The one that fought De La Hoya.
Right.
Big, like I start thinking about it, all the fighters, and I think I kind of think he did, man.
You think he quit? Really?
I think because look at this. The comment he said.
I know. I'm gonna let you land because I know that you thought this through. You're not trying to be a dick or just because you don't like him saying that. So I know for you to say he quit, you're saying that for a reason. Go on.
He had this I don't know. He had like a quote before the fight. He said, "I'd rather die 10 seconds after the fight than quit," or some shit like that. So it's saying that just like came back and bit him in the ass.
It did. Yep.
Because I mean, like other boxers, you know, they probably they might know, like, fuck, I'm gonna lose this fight, but I'm not about to quit.
Right.
You know, he could have protected his eye more than anything else. You know, that right side, and got through it. But
It's one of them. I don't think there has that. You'll know this better than me. I don't think there's been something in boxing on this scale that has split opinion so much. Like, I think it's legit split 50-50 in the boxing community. I've seen both sides, and I've seen legitimate arguments for both sides. Go on, JK, go.
And it's like, you can say he quit, but then you can also be like, okay, it starts to come to a point. It's like my health.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, do I want this to where maybe he's like, fuck, if I continue, I might be blind in this eye the rest of my life.
Facts.
But you can't make, statements like that, like, I'd rather die after 10 minutes after the fight than to quit.
That's where the issue comes in.
Yeah.
That's where the issue comes in. It is like, I was saying it because like GB7 AM7 says big up to you. And he says he didn't quit, man. Davison told Tibbs to call it. Here's the thing, if I remember correctly, his trainer, because I've not heard, this is all I've heard, because obviously he was watching the fight on mute, that his trainer asked him, does he want to continue? And he didn't get the response he liked or the response he wanted. This is what I've heard.
That usually means, I'm done. Like the same thing with Anthony Joshua. The ref asking him, he was just standing there.
Yeah, he wasn't showing any enthusiasm. And I have a tough time saying a boxer quit, because we spoke on this in depth. No, it wasn't on this show. It was on the Sarcasm City podcast, and we're talking about Mayweather and the Paul brothers. And I'm saying I have a very tough time saying a boxer quit. And this is why I don't call boxers bums, because they go in there and do something most of the world can't do, and most of the world wouldn't do. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I would have boxed for all the money in the world. It would cost a large amount. You'd have to give me generational wealth for me to get in a boxing ring with a friggin' bantamweight. Never mind, we're talking super middleweights, or you're talking cruiserweights or heavyweights, because it's like literally one shot can change your career and change your entire life, not just your boxing career. Like, one shot can drastically change your entire life. And that's how I look at it. So that's why I find it struggle to quit. Like Carl Froch said it in an interview, there's a thin line between bravery and stupidity. This is why I have a tough time saying he quit, because me personally, I had him around up at the stoppage of the fight. Even if you didn't have him up, I seen the 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards were wild, but I think we all expected that. I don't think anybody was shocked by that. To me, he won a minimum of 3 rounds. One of the rounds was 10-10. He won a minimum of 3 rounds, and he got stopped in the 8th, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so he's in the fight down the stretch. Even if you have Billy Joe down, to me, I had him around up, but he was in the fight, and we were scoring it. The big guy as well. All our 3 scorecards were very similar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if I remember correctly, I think you might have had Canelo up by a round. I had Billy Joe by a round. I think the big guy had him up by Canelo up by 2. I think he had Canelo up by 2 rounds.
It's 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My point is, us 3 are there scoring it, and we're all very close. So the fight is still competitive. Large up, you get me, JK Jr. in the building as well, getting his camera shine and that. So yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. So I have a tough time saying he quit. The issue is that he's said what he said beforehand in terms of the quote you're talking about. Like, I'd rather die 10 seconds after the fight than lose it. Well, you could have went back out there. You were physically able to go back out there. Yeah. And that's when them type of phrases, well, not type of phrases, when you say those type of things, it comes back to bite you. Right? When Daniel Dubois fought, and he had a very similar injury with his eye, and Billy Joe Saunders slandered him and said he quit, this, that. So it's like, did you quit? No. But the way you've gone on, the gypsy spirit, gypsy energy, we don't quit, we'd rather die, blah, blah, blah. That's a great knockout shot as well. You know what I'm saying? Uppercut, you know what I mean? Straight uppercut from him. So that's my point on it. I'm looking at it like, the way you've gone on is why people are so on your case. Even the girl, what's her name? She's nice as well. Ebony Bridges, when she fought Shannon Courtney and that. Like, you see her eye.
Yeah, that's the thing too. There's these females in this MMA stuff, dude, with these. And not only is their eye closed, it's like you can just tell it's just like full of blood, how red it is and stuff. Like Chris Algieri too. That's another one, dude, where his eye was just There's so many, man, that they might just have a different type of dog in them, man, to continue. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, fuck it, man. If I go blind in this eye, this is this is what I put my life into. So it's one of them things like with football, like fuck, if I have like right now, I got injuries right now, but it's like someone's like I earned it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like I signed up for this, I earned it.
Yes.
So I don't know, man. I feel like he did, but then it's like maybe he was thinking like save my eye,
save my eyesight,
if I want to continue boxing. You know, so
and that's where the issue lies, is that it's kind of like, save my eye, but then you can't say what he said. I'd rather die 10 seconds out of the ring. You can't criticize Daniel Dubois, who had an injury like yours, and he took a knee against who did he fight? It's a British fighter as well that Daniel Dubois fought. Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, that was it. So he's fought Joe Joyce. Pardon me, and that's what. So you criticize him, but then you do the same because you were physically able to come out. Obviously, they're looking in your eye, and I understand. Save your eye. Fuck that pride shit. Save your eye. Save your sight. To me, save your sight. But it's the way Billy Joe Saunders conducts himself. Gypsy spirit, never quitting. The confidence going into it. Him being cocky. I like Billy Joe Saunders, but when you're that cocky, you can't go out like that and not expect backlash. So that's why when I see him getting the backlash, I'm like, it's deserved. Do I believe he quit?
Yeah. And then had the dude, the Edgar Berlanga. Have you heard of him?
No. Who's Edgar Berlanga? What did he say?
I want to say Puerto Rican. I'm not sure. Puerto Rican or Mexican. Dude's knocking everybody out right now. He's like, I think in the 168 division too.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, this dude is the real deal.
I love that.
And he's just like, man, Billy Joe Saunders is a pussy. He's like, you know, you're in front of 70,000 people, and you know, you talk all that shit, and then fucking, you know, you quit on the store, and then it's just like you're being like super cocky this whole week, and then like you're talking all this shit to Mexican people, and disrespecting some people.
Well, disrespecting, saying to the reporter that his breath stinks and all that type of stuff, and that's where the backlash comes. That's where it comes. Tyson Fury's there. He's extremely confident, talking like, Billy Joe's going to stop him, blah, blah, blah. And then to go out like that. And that's the disappointing. Like I say, can I go as far as to say he quit? No. But could he have continued? Yeah, I think he was smart. Yeah. If you want to say he quit too, I reckon he's smart. When you start getting broken elbow bones and stuff like that, no pride is worth your sight. Yeah. That's just to me personally.
Crazy though. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if there's anybody that lost their sight. But I know everybody that had that with that eye, they all continued except for I seen them finish the fights except for Kell Brook.
Yeah, against Golovkin.
But you know what? With Kell Brook, I think Kell Brook was getting hurt.
Errol Spence. Errol Spence was. It was Errol Spence who was mashing him. Yeah,
I think he knew he was gonna get stopped probably. Yeah. So he's like, my eyes fucked up. I'm getting hurt. I'm probably gonna get stopped. Probably gonna get knocked out. You know. But with Billy Joe, I don't know. It was just and that was like towards what was that, like the middle of the round, towards the end of the round. He didn't even go another round.
He didn't even you know what? You're spot on. He could have went out there and seen how it was. And then if he gets hurt and he gets stopped, and then you're like, you know what? This is the reason we called it off. Like that makes more sense.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
This corner, like I'm give me one more round to see.
That's fair. That's fair.
One more round to see if I can't take this shit. If I can't see nothing, and I'm getting hit with shit I can't see, then
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a very valid point.
Himself, though, for people to call him a quitter, he brought it up on himself, man.
Yes, like I say, the Daniel Dubois situation, who had an eye injury, and that's why karma comes around the corner quick. If you're not built like that, if you're built like that, you can talk like that. Because if he goes out there in the next round, like you're talking about, gets cleaned out and gets stopped and gets knocked out, nobody's calling him a quitter.
Plus, you got Tyson Fury helping you with all the shit talking too.
Yeah. Tyson Fury just added to it.
Everybody was calling Tyson Fury like a pussy because. Do you see the shit that happened with
Did something happen with his dad? Someone just asked that here. GB7 here said, did you see what happened to his dad? Fury just stood and watched. What happened?
What's his name? He just had a rematch with Povetkin. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, Dillian White.
Dillian White, right? So Dillian White's at the fight, right? He's on Snapchat. He's like close, right? And so what happened when Billy Joe Saunders stopped? His dad tried to hop over, right? To go see what was going on, in the security
Yo, your sound's gone, fam. Your sound's gone.
Hold up.
Yeah, I can hear you again now.
You
No
hear me?
stress.
Yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah, it's calm. No stress.
So he hops over and the security sees him and he just bum rushed him, just bum rushed him, threw him to the ground and all that. And like a fight broke out. They were saying he got like knocked out or stomped or something like that. But Dillian White, he's recording and he's like calling Tyson Fury a pussy because like he's like, how you gonna, be Team Saunders and all this shit, and you see his dad getting whooped and you just stand there and watch and not do anything.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Everybody's calling him a pussy there.
I didn't know that, yo. I did not know that. That is mad. I did not know that. That's nuts. So I was thinking what's GB7 talking about. Dude. Yeah. Dillian White, hilarious. I mean, he one of my favorite fighters. He hilarious and that. Ravi here says one shot like Ray and Nephews. Yeah, it was a lot. Faris says salute man them. How's everyone's day been good, man. Working, but it's good. We move and that. Big up to you, Faris. Cora says big up 6 show boys. Big up to you. GB7 goes, I had it even still. See, this is what I'm saying. It was competitive. He said it was a good fight until he ate the uppercut. Charlo gives him a good test, I think. But other than Bivol at light heavy, can't see too many doing anything. I hear you. Faris says, I told you, man, he was going to get pammed. And that shot at the end of the night was round 7 or before. Unfortunately, I was run round off. He didn't get pammed, though. I seen the punch numbers.
I would say
it was competitive.
Round 6, you can start to see Canelo starting to get into a groove like around round 6. End of round 5, round 6, he started, getting there. And I didn't understand like Billy Joe for he was doing great with the jab, man.
Yeah, the body shots take his toll.
I didn't understand all the fucking playing. Like, why are you playing with Canelo? Why are you like the judges? It's just like the judges are in his pocket. Why are you playing with him? They might give Canelo fucking points for you fucking shaking your head and doing all that. They might give him just like
you were saying this during what's your long. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Then he start getting caught. Like every time you get hit, you're shaking your head. Like, dude, I just didn't get it. He was doing good, man.
Yeah, he was, because even the punch numbers, because I was always like with football, I'll do an eye test and then I'll do the stat test. So when I seen the punch numbers, I was like, these match up. So these are the punch numbers from the fight. So this is total punches landed and thrown. So the first round, Canelo had 7 out of 13, Billy Joe Saunders 5 out of 28. Second round, 11 out of 28 to 9 out of 41 for Saunders. The third was 9 from 19, 5 from 28. The fourth round was 15 out of 32 and 5 out of 34. The fifth round was 6 out of 20 and 11 out of 39. The sixth round was 8 out of 29 and 10 out of 41 for Saunders. The seventh round was 4 out of 27 and 10 out of 50 for Saunders. And then the final round, the 8th round, was 13 out of 38 and 5 out of 23. That's close.
Yeah.
That's close for 3 straight rounds. Wait, 3 straight rounds. No, 2 rounds. Wait, no, 5, 6, and 7. He outlanded him.
Yeah, he did.
He outlanded him. This is what I'm saying when I say it was competitive, and just even power punches. I go on to that, people like power punches. So it's 5 out of 7 for Canelo, 0 out of 9. Round 2 was 11 out of 18 and 6 out of 4. 4 out of 11 and then 2 out of 14. 10 out of 4. Yeah, 10 out of 14, 4 out of 17. 5 out of 11, 5 out of 16. 7 out of 13, 7 out of 16. 4 out of 13, 5 out of 22, then 12 out of 23 and 1 out of 8. So even though Canelo, you would expect him to land more power punches, still then, that's not even miles apart.
Yeah.
And then the jabs I won't go through, but if I'm looking at
it, I mean, it like them numbers are even, but I think them judges were looking at, because Canelo was landing the more, more
good-looking shots,
more noticeable punches.
Yeah, the more good-looking shots. Yeah. It is. And Faris, we're going to get into what we think's next for both of them as well. MA7 United says, his dad. He also says, Flawless got the maddest work rate. Every time I see this guy is live, big up, man. Appreciate it. We got to get to work. Obviously, we normally give you these shows, people, straight after the fight. But 1, we was absolutely knackered. And 2, we thought with the eye injury and the way the eye injury and the way the fight stopped, we knew there was going to be a big fallout. So I'm like, all right, let me see what everyone else is saying in terms of fellow fighters, ex-fighters, pundits, etc. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Faris, I'm fully aware, man. To make things clear, if you man don't know, I'm a 16-year-old amateur boxer, and I've been hit with an almost identical shot in sparring, but right in the eye, not in the cheekbone. Yeah, I'm fully aware. For those that don't know, Faris does box as well. It is. And Curry says it's 16 Canelo trading words with fighters. Now it gives him more personality.
Yeah.
And that's especially what JK was going on about. But to me, it was competitive, and it's the shame the way it ended. But I'm not going to go as far to say he quit. Man saved his eye in it. So, like, to me, that's smart. Could he have given it one more round? Maybe. Maybe give it one more round. I'm like, all right, let's try it with the eye. But yeah, speaking of the press conference, let everybody know what actually happened. Obviously, I know what happened, but I'll let you explain it in terms of Canelo getting into it with Boo Boo.
So yeah, basically, Canelo was at his press conference, and Andre and what's crazy, Andre was like respectful. He was like I'm a big fan, and then he's like, when are we gonna get it on and all that shit, and then that's when Canelo just. Man, now he can speak English. Now he just got a personality. Now just
talking
shit. Like, man, you fought nobody, man. You ain't fought nobody. And then Andre just like, I think he said, who did Caleb Smith fight?
Yeah.
He starts, and then I think Andre's dad starts. He's like, oh, you ducked us at 154. You ducked us at 160. And then Canelo's like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
He's like, I'm going to fuck you up right now, motherfucker.
I love that.
Yeah,
show
dude,
energy.
I was loving that shit, man. But yeah, dude, and Andre is just like, he's just like, watch when I see you or some shit like that. Canelo's like, yeah. Payday. You want payday?
Yeah,
man.
man.
That's hilarious, dude.
I love that. We love to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Love that. There we are. Yeah, see, as Uber A here says, Canelo was joke at the press conference after the fight. It's about time he starts ruffling feathers a bit. Yeah, man, it all adds to it.
Yeah.
All adds to it. Faris is also saying I was not able to see with my left eye. That was here at all. It was like a faded dark yellow color, and the right eye was completely blurry. Yeah, I respect you in it. Because like I said, Faris, you do something I couldn't do, you know what I'm saying, and wouldn't do. So I respect that highly. But it's great to see Canelo showing more personality. And obviously Caleb Plant is definitely the one. It's definitely the fight he's looking at because he wants to become undisputed. He's got 3 of the 4 major belts. Caleb Plant has the IBF, if I'm correct in saying that. Yep. He has the IBF, if I'm saying, yeah. So he has the IBF. So it makes sense. And let's say, all right, so Canelo, he beats Caleb Plant, becomes undisputed. What is Andrew? You reckon Andrade is next? I'd like to see him against Andrade until Charlo moves up.
I think with that, I don't think Canelo actually told him, he said, you'll never get to fight.
Is that what Andre? Yeah, but he probably
he told Andre, he was like, you'll never get to fight. So I think if he beats Caleb Plant, I think the biggest fights for him after that it's either Charlo or Benavidez.
Charlo got to move up, or he has to move up. You don't think there's anything currently at that weight?
Benavidez,
apart from Boo Boo. Benavidez, okay.
Benavidez, that'll be the one, but
I
think Charlo is more deserving than anybody right now.
Yeah, Charlo got to move up quick then.
Yeah. He was like, Charlo actually tweeted, he was like, fuck the money, fuck the fame, he was like, I'll drop my belt at 160 and move up. He was like, the fans need this fight.
We need that fight, man. Lions only.
Canelo, I think Canelo, he's gonna stick to the plan. They're gonna fight Caleb Plant. Yeah,
so, man. That's what. Yeah, Canelo obviously for obvious reasons is gonna stick to the plan. Boom, become undisputed.
Because there's never been an undisputed
super middleweight.
Never.
Really?
So, yeah,
I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, so Canelo and Plant want to be the first ones to do that. So that
makes sense.
That's happening. Makes sense. That's most likely happening in September.
Yeah. It's the big money spinner. It's Canelo, who's a big draw anyway. It's an easy sell, undisputed super middleweight champion, the possibly first of all time. Yeah, easy sell. Hopefully Charlo moves up. I'm a big fan of both Charlos. Yeah. You get me? The one at 160 and the one at 154. Yeah. I know the one at 154 is, I need to figure out which one's which, is the one who has 3 of the belts.
Jamel is the one at 154.
So Jamel is the one at 154, and Jamal is the one at 160. Right. So it's Jamal Charlo then. Okay.
Yeah. So I think if he becomes undisputed, those 2 right there. And I don't think he'll go if he goes to 175 again. Say like if he drops all the fucking belts after he becomes undisputed, because Canelo might do some shit like that. I don't know. I just don't see him going back up to 175. He caught Kovalev like on the downside of his career. I don't think he wants to fight Bivol or Better Biev at 175. I think he knows better.
You're giving up size. Yeah. You're giving up size. You're giving up size when you fight those type of guys. And there's only so much where you can continue to go up and go up. Because if he goes up, people will be like, all right, why you go to cruiserweight?
Yeah.
Then they'll be like, no, yeah, why don't you go to cruiserweight? All right, why don't you go to heavyweight? And it's like, yo, he's not a heavyweight. He's not a... Actually, let's speak on that. Could he go to cruiserweight?
You know what?
Could he bulk up and go? I know I'm speaking here. It could be a mad. Could he bulk up and go to heavyweight?
He can. I think he could. I think he could bulk up and go to cruiserweight. There's nobody really at There's nobody.
That's my point. Yeah.
Only person I could think of is Andrew Tabiti.
Yeah, there's no one at cruiserweight who's a big money spinner.
I can't think of. And you never know, because like with him, he might try to just go conquer a division with nobody's there. That's why he went after these titles the way he did.
Okay, right.
When Benavidez had the title, he didn't want the no part of the 168 belts, right? He had the title, didn't want no parts of it. He lost his title on the I think it was like some drugs or some shit, some cocaine, shit like that.
Yeah.
Got his title back.
Yeah.
Didn't want no part of him. Then he lost it on the scale. Once he lost it on the scale and he got another belt already, that's when he, like, okay, I'm coming to this division now. I'm taking all these belts. So he be moving around like we seen it with him before with the 154 fighting at all these catch weights. Like he's I don't know. He just does shit
to conquer in it.
He just does shit.
I know I'm dreaming in it, but it's like we've seen fighters do this before. You get what I'm saying? And that we've seen fighters do that type of thing before where they've bulked up and gone up. Like him at heavyweight, it's a money spinner. It won't happen, but it's a money spinner because he seems like a big 106. Because it seems like just yesterday he was at 154. Now he's all the way at 168. So I'm like, yo, you bulking up and you've already fought at light heavyweight.
Yeah,
you've already fought there, so it's like you just have that one big. Just all right, let me just go to heavyweight.
I mean, Canelo's good, but I don't think he's
heavyweight good. I know I'm dreaming.
You got to be special, dude. Like,
he's
that special of a athlete
to go up to go all the way to heavyweight. I'm just dreaming here because I'm looking at him like there's no one, there's no fights at once. There's no fights at.
See that again from like look at all these dudes. And you're like, damn, these dudes is good. Dude, Roy Jones, 154 all the way up to heavyweight. I mean, none of it is like you look at these dudes now, they don't even want to move up one weight class.
Yeah.
Like, damn, Triple G, move the fuck up. Go fight somebody else. Go.
Yeah, true. Say he was at middleweight the whole time in that.
Yeah, like go move and make the fights.
Yeah. I hear you. Now I'm just dreaming people I know because JJ Saunders says Canelo is way too small for heavyweight. I know he's too small. My point is that from a fan perspective, there's no one I look at apart from Charlo, and you say it's Jamel Charlo, who's at 160.
Yeah,
or Jamal's
at 160. Yeah.
All right, Jamal, I'm gonna keep mixing it up, and I love the Charlo twins. But yeah, if Charlo doesn't move up, there's no one else I'm particularly interested in seeing him fight. At 168. Even at 160, 175, there's no one there. I'm like, I want to see you again. No one at cruiserweight. It's only the heavyweights, even though I don't see him moving up to heavyweight. I know Andre Ward was looking at it. He was planning on having one fight at cruiserweight and then going up to heavyweight.
The only heavyweight I could see him fighting would be Usyk.
That's it. See, this is why you're on the show, JK. That makes sense.
He's not a overly big.
That makes sense. You telling me Canelo and Usyk at heavyweight doesn't make sense. If he moves up to light heavyweight, has one fight at light heavyweight, for instance, has one fight at cruiserweight, and then goes up to heavyweight to fight Usyk, depending on where Usyk's at. Him versus Usyk makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm with that. Let me look at the cruiserweight rankings to see if there's anyone in there that I'm forgetting. I'm literally having a look. Yeah, there's no one in there that I'm like, that I can think of. Them like, yeah, the cruiserweight division is popping. I'm just having a look here now.
Let me have a look. Notifications at the top of my screen.
Yeah, them way there. It's cool, man. No stress. Because I'm looking there, cruiserweights. So you've got, let me check now, cruiserweights. Where we at? See, you ain't got nobody. I'm looking at there's no one excited. You got Lawrence Coley. And then the rest of the guys, I don't even know. I'm looking at these names because I don't really follow the cruiserweight division. So it could be fire.
Division it's been dead.
Yeah, I never hear anyone talking about, yo, did you see the big cruiserweight fight? Never in Yonks. Never. And see, Faris here says Usyk can comfortably make cruiserweight. If he was to drop down, that's a big money spinner.
Mm-hmm.
If he was, depending on what happens with Usyk, because Usyk didn't look too impressive against Chisora. So it's possible. I'm even here looking at light heavyweight. Obviously, we spoke about Bivol, Bedevivev, Kovalev.
Hey, man.
Batshuayi's there, Jean Pascal, Joe Smith Jr. is a there's no one there that you look at and go, yeah.
I mean, there's fighters there that's really good, but it's not a money maker.
Yeah, I'm talking big
Canelo
money. Canelo
knows not to play with Beterbiev or Bivol. Just like Andre Ward, he knows better. Yeah. He knows who not to fight, and that's why he still ain't said Andre Ward's name.
Don't want them problems. Don't want them problems and that. He's different. Someone said it there in the comments, he don't want them problems with Andre Ward. Let's keep it real. We all know this. And hey, you lot watching this, whether you're watching live or watching this back, get the likes up, man. We're at 14 likes. Get us to 20 likes before we close out the show, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Andre Ward would fuck Canelo. Real talk, would love that fight. I would have loved to have seen it as well. It would have been great. Definitely would have been great.
And that's the thing with Ward too. I think he said the only fight he would come back for, he said it's got to be him or it's got to be heavyweight. You know?
Yeah, I don't want to see Ward come back at heavyweight and that. That's not the one. That is not. Well, if someone can do it, it's definitely Andre Ward.
If anybody can do it, it's him.
It's definitely if someone can do it. All right, so we spoke about Canelo and what's going to happen next. What do you think next for Billy Joe Saunders?
With that eye injury, he's gonna be out for a year, at least a year, and then you got to get him a tune-up. Mm-hmm. He's not just gonna jump right. I don't even. Maybe the fight with him and Andre happens finally. Mm-hmm. Maybe a fight with I don't know. That's the only person I see. Maybe a rematch with Eubanks. I don't know.
Yeah, someone mentioned Chris Eubank Jr. and it's like, no, I don't want to see him with Canelo. But say for instance, his injuries heal up. His injuries heal up. He can box again. He's good to go. Chris Eubank Jr. makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Chris Eubank Jr. to me makes absolutely perfect sense. So I'm here looking at the super middleweights now. And obviously, you got Canelo, who's on top with 3 of the 4 belts. And then you've got Caleb Plant. No stress, man. You got Callum Smith, Daniel Jacobs in there as well. You got Durrell, who's also in there. Just having a look at some of the names. So you have options in there. Because you have Callum Smith. Callum Smith is definitely a shout. It's all British, so it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. 100%.
Yeah, I just don't know. It's like it's gonna take a year at least, before he's back in the ring, I believe, with that injury. Yeah. And then just trying to find an opponent and shit like that. I say at least a year for him to get back.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would like to see him back. Him versus Eubank Jr. is the fight I want to see. Just for the build up again.
Maybe him and you, like I said, maybe him and Andre finally.
Yeah, do that, or him and Callum Smith. I think any fight with him, the build up's entertaining. I'm just thinking from an all British perspective, it would be great. Faris says Badu Jack as well, bro. That's a money fight. Come on, that's not a big fight though. I'm not saying it's not a good fight. I'm not saying it's a big fight.
Rematching Pascal on the Mayweather card, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's not a big fight. This is not a big fight. And Billy Joe can't flipping Jake Paul, fam. That's his level now, man. He's still a world-class operator. He might have lost to the very best. Yeah. He's still a world-class operator. He lost to the best guy and arguably the pound-for-pound best. And he lost to the best guy in the division, you could argue as well. Yeah. It's no shame losing to Canelo.
Yeah. It's so many fights for Billy Joe that can happen. It's just like you don't know where it's going to be at in a year from now. Who's going to have belts? Who's who's going to be acting like they shit don't stink if they get a belt? Just you never know. So
you do never know. And I'm
just
just
want
looking
to
here.
see him back in the ring. That's all.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm just looking here as a side note because we're talking big fights and fights I want to see. I was just looking at the welterweight division and seeing obviously Errol Spence got 2 of the belts, Terrence Crawford got 1, and then the WBA. I didn't know Ugas was the super champion. I had no idea.
They took the belt from
Who did you take it off?
Pacquiao.
Yeah. Why? Because of him being inactive.
That's why because Pacquiao took too long to make a fight. Right, he was already taking too long because he took it from Thurman a long time ago.
Yeah, he did take it from Thurman. So, jeez.
Once those rumors came out about him and Ryan Garcia, which wasn't even true, they're just like, nah, you taking too long. So
and just took the belt and just gave it to Ugas.
Ugas became the champ.
Yeah, and then Jamal James, saying here, American, who has a WBA regular.
You know what would be the fight for me? I think it would be the biggest fight in boxing, the biggest moneymaker. If Canelo becomes undisputed at 168, if Errol Spence becomes undisputed at welterweight and they meet at 160 at a catchweight or 168, if they're both undisputed and they go to meet at catchweight, maybe once, because Errol Spence is not a small dude.
Nah, he's a big welterweight. You could easily make 154. Yo, you've gone, fam. Yeah, go on, you back. Yeah, go on.
Look at me right now.
No, that's cool, man.
But I think that would be like the biggest fight in boxing. If they both were undisputed and they decided to meet, You
should be a promoter, fam. That's a very good idea. I want to see them too anyway, because Spencer's already said he'd fight Canelo. It'd have to be at like a catch weight of 162 pounds or something like that. Because he does look, not Canelo. Spence is a big welterweight as it is. If he does beat Crawford, that might edge me to why I want to see Spence and Crawford. But if Spence wins, that's the next thing up. They have to make that. I ain't gonna lie, I think Spence beats him. Yo, you got again, JK. You gone again. It's calm, man. No stress. You lot get the likes up as well. How many likes are we on? We are on 15. So get the likes up before we close out the show. Go on, JK, say something. Now you're still on mute, fam. Still can't hear you. Yeah, jump out and jump back in. No problem. Yeah, no stress. But what do you lot, pardon me, what are you lot thinking of that? JJ Sadler says Canelo versus Usyk would be fire. I can't lie. That would be fire. Definitely. Errol Spence versus Canelo is the most exciting fight to make now, probably. Yep, that's up there with me with Fury Joshua Wilder. All the heavyweights, basically. All the heavyweight fights, the top guys, that's exciting. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. And then I throw Canelo and Errol Spence in there and Canelo versus Usyk. Variables, definitely. So many variables. And yeah, Faris just not rating Billy Joe Saunders. Says Jake Paul is a competitive cruiserweight. Canelo can fight. Yeah, you just bad disrespectful and that. Big up to Dupe out here chatting ish out. Big up, I come in feeling like a champion of England. Yeah, you're never the champion of Europe though, innit? You know what I'm saying? But you should have went to cheer, man, with all your other 10 Manchester City fans and that. Let me check what other comments we got. What I missed. Faris says Harry Beckenbauer would beat Canelo at heavyweight. Now I'm playing, but seriously, I don't think he can handle the durability and resilience of the heavyweight division. I hear what you're saying. Yes, JK, we back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, not a problem. Go on. What was you saying?
Damn, I kind of lost.
You was talking about Canelo and Errol Spence fighting at catchweight, and then we'll close out the show.
Oh yeah. I was just thinking that would be the biggest fight in boxing if they both became undisputed. Yes. Because
so you've gone again, fam.
Me, like
Yeah, it's cool. Someone keeps calling him and that. Someone saying here, GB7 says Canelo versus Bivol for me. Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. How would that play out, bro? They've got very similar styles. I'm unsure still. Yeah, go on. We back, yeah? We back.
Man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Not a problem, fam. Can hear you. Yeah. We back.
Now I can't hear you.
Well, really? Can you not hear me? Mazza. Yeah, we back. Technical difficulties, people, but we here. You. Let me know. You lot let me know in the comments if you can not hear me or JK. Let me know which one of us it is. Please let me know. Oh yeah, I'm just here looking up, see what big fights are coming up with the boxing schedule, so we know when our next show will be. Let me have a look. Nothing is, yeah. Haley Linares will be a good one, but we probably won't cover that. Having a look. Mayweather Jake Paul. Nah, we probably won't cover that still. Oh, Charlo's fighting still to be seen middleweight. See that? Nothing is sticking out here. Nothing is sticking out. Hearing me fine. All right, cool. So I know. Faris says Crawford versus Aerospace. How would that play out, bro? They've got very similar styles, man. I have no idea. I flip-flop on who I think wins that all the time, innit? It's 50-50. If there's ever a 50-50 fight, it's those two. And they're two of my favorite fighters as well. Yeah, none of these fights are Lomachenko. There's no big bouts, really. Oh, geez. It's Charlo versus Castano. So he's trying to become undisputed. He is as well. Mad. Need to put more credit on more respect on Charlo's name. And that's that's Jamel Charlo, who's trying to become undisputed. Jamel Charlo at light middleweight. I didn't know he was trying to become undisputed. That's really slept on. That's really slept on. It's mad. Canelo calling Jesse to acquire him as a promoter after watching Sarcasm City TV live. Facts, man. Facts. JK should be a promoter. 100%. I'm just looking at bouts I will be watching. But yeah, nothing sticks out. Depends on JK. JK might hit me with turn and be like, yeah, we'll do a show for this. Hopefully he's back now. Yes, JK, what are you saying?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We're back.
Oh man,
we're back. It's cool, man. And look what Faris said. Man said Canelo calling Jesse to acquire him as a promoter after watching Sarcasm City TV. You should get into the promotion business, fam. Start your own boxing promotion companies. I'm telling you.
Man, we actually got a fighter out here that's pretty big. He signed a top rank right now.
What's his name?
Mexican cat, Gabriel Flores.
I know his name. Is it Gabriel Flores Jr. or is it just Gabriel Flores?
Jr.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. He's getting pretty big out here. But yeah, like I was trying to say, I think in order for Aerospace to be undisputed, he would have to beat Bud Crawford. You know, so if he comes off a win off of Terrence Crawford, imagine the hype.
Yes,
it would create. Him and Canelo.
Yeah, they need to make that happen. Mm-hmm. They do need to make that happen. We hope you lot have enjoyed the show. Like I said, whether you're watching live or you're watching this back, please hit the like button on the YouTube and make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. And if you're listening on one of the audio platforms, SoundCloud, Spotify, or iTunes, the link is underneath in the description. But big up to you if you're listening on there. And wherever you listen to podcasts, people, wherever you listen to podcasts, you might want to listen to an audio only form. Just type in Sarcasm City TV. You can get this show, Big Fights, Big Nights Only, and all our other shows on the channel on the audio platforms also. But yeah, JK, you're spot on about that. Spot on. I'm not sure when we'll be back, people, because I was looking at the fights. There's nothing that sticks out. There's good fights though. Like I didn't know Charlo was gonna be. He's fighting for the undisputed. I like middleweight. I didn't know that until I just had a look.
He's gonna be fighting. I forgot the Mexican guy's name.
I literally was just looking at it now. 1 second, I'll tell you now. Castano, Argentinian, yeah. Mm-hmm. Castano. I've seen it, and I've seen all the full belts, and I was like, that's really slept under the radar. If he becomes,
it's crazy that he's not on the pound for pound list. I don't get it. I don't see how the brothers are not on the pound for pound list.
He should definitely be. Definitely 100% Charlo should be on, like, especially you got 3 of the 4 belts. But all W's, no L says big up you, man. Big up to you. And Black Diamond says like, share, subscribe, people. Free quality here. Big up to you also. Big up Faris. He says, yeah, man. Good seeing you, man. As always, stay safe and well, people. Big up to you. Big up to everyone who has locked in. Like I said, I'm not sure when we'll be back, but just keep an eye out on the upcoming live stream section. JK, anything you want to add before we bounce?
Nope. Nothing at all. We good, man.
Yeah, man. Love that. And yes, people, love to everyone who's locked. And this has been the Big Fights, Big Nights Only show on Sarcasm City TV. And we've obviously recapped Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders. Thank you very much.